Peace, peace. Ankh Mayat family, Ankh Mayat. Come on in. Where y'all at?
Comme une Cuban Links, rarement elles sont unanimes. Elles fluctuent, flottent, émigrent, me dénigrent, me révèlent, me soulèvent, me déchirent, me font rire comme Nina Simone sur les montagnes russes. J'esquive la vie et c'est brutal, ruse. J'suis pas dans le mood, non, demande au mien. Soul, sun et moon chez moi, s'amuse bien. J'suis comme un cul qui se demande sur quel pied danser. Qui ferait le poirier dans des sables mouvants. J'ai le pouce du mulac, trop clair ou pas, c'est foncé. Que vous me croyez ou pas, c'est très éprouvant. Je suis ballotté, 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 j'ai deux pays. Je suis ballotté, 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 lit et balle au pied. Je me tire dans les pattes souvent. Donc je joue avec ce monde et mes sentiments.
Come on in, share, invite. Today's subject is seek and ye shall find the truth. Peace, peace, family. Peace, peace. Peace, 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 peace. Come on in, come on in. I'm so glad to see you seeing me today. Come on, let's get that energy flowing. Share, invite. Don't keep this truth to yourself. Seek and ye shall find the truth. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm going to try to keep it to my 22 minutes. I don't know how close I can get it to that, but I'm going to try. I'm just rocking out to some Damien Escobar. It's called Mood Swings. Come on in. All right. Peace, peace. Peace. All right. Okay, I got a few people on here. Make sure you share. Give me some. I'm sorry. I hit the done button. I don't know how that happened. Am I still there? Can you guys see me? Somebody make a comment or something, because I don't know. I hit the done button. Okay, I see the love. It's going up. All right. Thank you for the hearts, Queen. Peace, Queen. Peace, King. Okay. So, my subject today is seek and ye shall find the truth. My lighting is kind of bad. Let's see here. Let me move my light around a little bit. It's kind of bad. I don't know what light that is. It must be that one. I ain't play around with the light today. Let's see. Let's see. Let's get it right. What y'all been up to? What's been going on? What's been shaking today? What you learned new today? Every day, you should be learning something new. Every day is an experience to learn something new. Experience something and learn something new. Yeah, I can see me too, but that light is just bothering me for some reason. Oh, maybe that's a little better. Okay. Anyway, so seek and ye shall find the truth. And how I came up with this is, I told you guys before, I'm listening to Talk, not Tomorrow's God. I'm listening to the audio of the book. It's an awesome book. But something came out of that today that made me want to speak on this, because I'm going to share a story with you that, I told you we learn in stories and parables. We were taught, that's how we were taught, that's our experience. Words are secondary to everything. Words are everything, first of all. I mean, you cast spells with words. You can hurt somebody with words. They say the tongue is sharper than a double-edged sword. That's some true statements, So before words, there were other ways of communicating with each other. So everything that you read in the Bible is not necessarily everything you read in the Bible is not necessarily all bad. As I'm continued my journey through learning myself, I start hearing things that go along with that line up with it, that go with it, that go along with some of the things I've read in the Bible. So I'm basically, I got this from Queen Neef, but I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Because I keep referencing back to it. So the truth will find you anywhere you are. Wherever you are, the truth will find you, especially if you're looking for it. So the reason I'm going to share this story with you is because it can explain it better than what I'm saying. So wherever you're at, the truth will always find you. But if you're looking for it, it will definitely find you. You will find it, and it will find you. So I want to share my truth and how I came about this journey that I'm on, based on seeking. Anything that you seek, you shall find. Before I do that, though, I want to share this. Matthew 7:7. I know y'all say she quoting the Bible. I don't want to hear that. Just give me a minute. It says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. Well, this is the truest statement I've read in the Bible. And because I witnessed it. And I'm going to share this story with you. I myself didn't know what I was looking for. And I didn't know what I was looking for. I thought I was looking for God, which actually I was looking for God. And I found her right here. But I was looking for God because I was told, I heard a voice that told me that I needed to build a relationship with them before I started to teach other people about relationship. So because I heard that voice, I thought it was God speaking to me. And it was God. But I thought it was God speaking to me. And in that, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start figuring out how to get to this. How to get to, I'm sorry, Sybil. I don't know why it's frozen. But it should, I hope it comes back. Let me know if it comes back. But I was out, and this is the key thing. I went and I sat out on my patio, and that's where I heard this voice. So I'm going to start all over with, I'm not going to start all over, but I'm going to explain it to you. I was on my patio, and I heard this voice because I was struggling with how I was going to get, I wanted to write a book, I wanted to be a coach, and I wanted to be a speaker, a motivational speaker on relationships, all relationships with business, man and woman, husband, wife, friendships, all of that. I wanted to create relationship-based business. That's what I wanted it to be. But I wanted to be a speaker, author, and coach. Okay. But I wasn't making major moves. I had a lot of thoughts going on in my head, but never making any major moves. And because I didn't make these major moves, I asked the question, like, I mean, how do I even get started doing something like that? You know, I put it on my vision board, and I shared that with my vision board. You might want to go back out and Sybil and come back in. Anybody else frozen? Go back out and come back in. But I put it on my vision board, and this is what I thought that, you know, so then when I heard that voice that said, before you can have teach people about relationships, you need to have a relationship with me. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I'm going to build this relationship because I just knew it was God speaking to me. And so I, from that point on, went and started seeking. I grabbed the Bible. I began to read. Me and my best friend, we read the Bible one Saturday for 9 hours. We started in Genesis, and we ended all the way, I want to say, to the beginning of Exodus, somewhere in there. And I continue on reading. And I got to a point, and you guys are going to hear your points in this, because I know everybody got to one of these points here, there, and the other throughout their journey. But I got to a point where I read in this Bible where there were Hebrew Israelites. So I thought we were the black Hebrew Israelites. We tend to seek things that in the Bible, we tend to seek things in the Bible because we don't have a history of our own. So we want to find ourselves in the Bible because the Bible is supposed to be the greatest thing. It's supposed to be the word of God, the information, the instruction, the guide, all of that. And so because it's supposed to be those things, we then try to find ourselves in the Bible. So I go to thinking I'm a Hebrew Israelite based on the conversation that God had with Abraham in his sleep. Abraham dreamed that or had a conversation in his sleep with God that said that I'm going to spread your people to all corners of the earth, and that we will then and that you will be, your tongues will be confused, or you will be seeking, or something like that. I can't remember. Whatever it was like, and it said it would be like that for 400 years. So then at that point, I was like, oh my gosh, that's us. Because 400 years is in 2019. And guess what? We Hebrew Israelites. I'm like, yeah. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. And Jesus is my brother. Okay? So I'm all excited about that. Because I'm thinking, I said, see, God spoke to me. Now he's showing me who I am. And I know where I'm going from here. I already know where I'm going. I got the whole answers. I got all the answers because I am a Hebrew Israelite. So now, at this point, I started making posts on Facebook like, you got to know who you are. You need to know who you are. You don't know you a Hebrew Israelite. God is going to, God is going to save us because it says it in the word. The prophecy is coming true. I'm excited. So all along, I'm reading in the Bible and I'm seeking the information, and I felt like things were being given to me. Like, oh, yes. This is what I'm talking about. So I made a post on Facebook, and a young man that I used to go to church with a while back inboxed me and said, you know what, you should come over to our service because I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm like, oh man, I done found some local Hebrew Israelites. They know that we the Hebrew Israelites, and I'm going over here to this church. So me and my best friend, we ante up and going over here to this church. We get in there and they're speaking the whole, I don't know. It was more like a Jewish church. I mean, they were saying Yahshua, Yahweh, and all of these things. And we kind of like, nah. I can't really roll with that because I don't call Jesus by no other name than his own name. And they explained to me that Yeshua is the original name because there was no J. So I'm sitting here like, okay, but this ain't what I came for. I came to find out how I get to be this Hebrew Israelite. What do I need to do? Because I got to build this relationship with God in order to be able to do what it is I said I want to do, which was to be an author, a coach, and a speaker for relationships, all relationships, relationships with, listen to all the things I'm saying the relationships is with, relationships through business, boyfriend, girlfriend, friends, all of these things, right? This is what I'm like, I'm going to find this out. Well, that was a letdown. So we get up and leave in the middle of service because we was told while we were there that they go, this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, and they then said that they there till 7 o'clock at night. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you here this long, right? But anyway, so then we get to Tia's house, my best friend. Get to her house. We pull up to the house. We're sitting in front of the house, and she looks down the street. We talking about that situation that we just left out of, like that ain't it. And all we kept on saying, and now that I think back on it, and I don't know if you remember it like this, Tia, but now that I think back on it, it was like, dang, are we going to ever figure out, what it really is? Because something ain't right. But, it's kind of like we asked the question right then, So she looks down the street, and there's a man walking from his car to the house. And he has on like this Muslim garb or whatever. And so she was like, maybe the Muslims know, or maybe he know what the real deal is. We should go ask him. And so I was like, okay. She's like, girl, you ain't going to go down there. I was like, yes, I am, because I need to know something. So I go ahead and I drive down the street to this man's house, and I whip up on him like, excuse me, I want to ask you a question. And he says, yes. And I said, what is it that you practice? And he says, practice? I said, yeah, what do you believe in? What, I see you, the way you dress. I mean, are you a Muslim? Are you, what do you do? Like, are you Islam? What do you do? Because I don't really know all of the technical stuff. I just know you're a Christian in religion, and that's it. I mean, you're Muslim. And I don't get into all those. That's why too much division anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's too much division. But anyway, so he says to me, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't do none of that. And I was like, well, so what do you follow? What do you do? He was like, I follow me. I do me. And so I reached back in my back seat like, bam, like the Bible, bam. What about this Bible? In the Bible it says, and he said, the Bible, that's the worst thing that you could have ever pulled out in front of me. What are you talking about? I said, God created us. And he said, wait a minute. He said, let me ask you, who created you? And of course I say God. He said, who had you? I said, my mama. And he said, well, if you ask me, I'm looking at two guys right here in the car. Because you the ones that, the black woman is God. The African black woman is God. That's what he says to me. So I said, really? Well, I'm kind of, but Tia over in the seat like, yeah, you know what? It makes sense. Because he's saying some stuff like my daddy been saying to me. And I'm going, I'm still like this, like, really? But I'm kind of following him because, the black woman does create life, right? So I'm like, okay. But I'm like, but at the end of the conversation, after Tia is kind of like engaged, and I said, I know this is strange that we rolled up on you. You know what he said? It is not a strange thing. People come over here all the time and ask questions. He said, the energy in the universe lined you up and set you right here at this time because you were ready to hear what I had to say. And he told me that you're going to get confirmation of what it is I have said. And I said, oh, okay. So we went on about our business. So while we were sitting there, Tia was like, oh, I can't wait to call my daddy. I can't wait to call my daddy. I can't wait to call my daddy. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm thinking, I don't know what kind of confirmation I'm going to get, right? So, and I don't even know that I was even thinking I would get it right away. You know, I didn't know if I was going to actually get it right away or not get it or whatever. I didn't even expect it, I don't think. But anyway, so I go home. I drop Tia back off at her house. I go home and I get in the house. I'm taking off my clothes because, you know, I got on my church clothes. You know, I put on the dress because I was going to church. So I took off my clothes and I was getting comfortable. And at this time, remember, I'm seeking something. I'm looking for something. So I have been on YouTube and I have been listening to a lot of preachers preach and a lot of people talking about, you know, all these different, but in different ways. I had pulled up Hebrew Israelites. I had been watching them go off on people on the corners. And so I had been, this is the kind of stuff that I had been looking at, but actually, when I got a recommendation on my YouTube, when I turned it on my television, I got a recommendation on my YouTube that said Hidden Colors. I didn't even know what Hidden Colors is. Anybody that knows Hidden Colors, the little logo don't give you no idea about what it's about, and there's no description of what it's about. So I bypassed that, trying to type in, because now I'm kind of curious. I'm trying to type in the black woman is God or the African black woman is God, and the thing defaults, shifts, and goes back and click, and I made a mistake and hit Hidden Colors, and it came on. Now I'm sitting here going, what is this? So I kind of, as I'm watching it, throughout the entire show, the entire documentary, all I see is confirmation of what this man has said to me. I didn't give you the overhaul of what he said. He said quite a few things, but the one, of course, stuck out to me is that the black woman was God. Of course it did. You know, it's that ego, right? But listening to what I was listening to, it gave me all the confirmation that he said I was going to receive. In the midst of this, I'm calling Tia because I'm like, girl, you got to watch this. You ain't going to believe this. What happened? He said we're going to have confirmation, and I got confirmation already. And she was like, I can't talk. She sends it, she sends back a message. I can't talk. I'm talking to my daddy right now. So I'm thinking, okay, well, she must have called her daddy. Well, no. Her dad called her. She was like, hey. He said, what? You was about to call me. What's going on? And she said, she was like, how did he know that? Understand the frequency of the universe only responds, and it could be by mistake or it could be on purpose, but only responds to direct questions of something that you are seeking. And what I mean is, most things that we want, we're seeking it. Most things that we desire, we're seeking it. So at this point, I'm seeking answers to this voice that I heard out here sitting on the patio that said, if you want to teach others about relationship, then you need to build a relationship with me. To come full circle for you, to come in full circle, I finally understood the voice I heard was my higher self speaking to my lower self, who was kind of distraught about not knowing what to do, and my higher self, which didn't know I had control over. I didn't know I had, I can go high, go low. I didn't know there was a high. I thought the high was this external God that I worship and pray to on a regular basis, But then I found out that conversation being, if you want to teach others about relationships, remember that's what it said, the voice said, then you need to build a relationship with me I am God. I'm the voice I heard. That voice that told me that I need to build a relationship meant I need to get to know who I am. Now that I have gotten to a point where I have begun to learn who I am, where I come from, what I know what I know, why certain things happen, I go back and I revisit. Anytime that something has happened in your current consciousness where you're awake, aware of what's going on, you should always go back and reflect that thing off of something. Because something in your life was a strange thing. Whatever that thing was, it might have been a strange situation, and you just and you gave all the credit to God and Jesus, and that's why this happened, and this and that. Because now I'm going to share just a small, brief snippet of this story with you, because I realized today something I didn't even realize just even last week, even though I've been telling this story for a long time. I met my husband, and I would say sitting under a tree. He wasn't my husband, he was my neighbor. I met him sitting under a tree. We both are widow and widowers. He's a widower and I'm a widow, and we lost our husband and wife, our significant others, our spouses, a year apart, but we didn't know each other at the time, okay? And so recently I spoke to you yesterday about getting rid of the other God, right? Okay, because we are all gods. So then I went and revisited a story that I've told several times as this is unbelievable. Who does this, right? So we're talking about our situations. My husband and I are talking about our situations. And, well, he wasn't my husband, and so I'm going to say my neighbor and I were speaking about our situations. And he then told me, about how everything he was going through ever since his wife died, and I'm telling him everything I'm going through. And everything I was going through at the time would seem like everything was breaking down. We needed to replace the sump pump, and the basement flooded, and then the dryer went out. It just was like my husband died, and that went boop, 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 just right, one right after the other, right? So then after, telling him this story, he was like, yeah, I understand. I said, now the washing machine is out. I said, so now I'm going to the laundromat. I can't take it. I just don't like. He's like, don't nobody like to go to the laundromat. I know that's right, blah, blah, blah. Just general conversation, just part of the conversation in which we do. So during this time, I met him in April of 2014. In April, I met him in April 2014. In June, week before my birthday, almost a year to this date, he came over and was like, what you doing next Friday? We already had a date to go out for my birthday or whatever. And so he said, what you doing this Friday or whatever? And I was kind of smart-mouthed and, kind of thinking I was all that because you want to know what I'm doing, because you want to come and hang out with me, because I thought I was, all that. Anyway, so he then says, well, I was just asking because I wanted to know, what time can I bring your washer and dryer? And I go, really? Really? But this story I'm telling you lines up with what I said yesterday about each and every one of us being God. He showed up as God right then. I didn't say a prayer to him, but I had been praying that I could get a washing machine so I didn't have to go to the laundromat anymore. But he responded as God. We are all gods. This is how we're supposed to be with each other. We hear the petition and the plea of our brothers and our sisters, our other divine beings. We are gods. We're looking at each other as a reflection of each other. When I see you, I see me. If you're hurting, I am too. I shouldn't be good and you're not good. You shouldn't be good and I'm not good. I'm not saying lay your burdens or your problems on anyone else. What I'm telling you is if we step up as the God that we say we are, then it's not laying a burden. It's just letting it be known that we have a petition of something that needs to be taken care of. That's it. Because, and Obadiah said, we are one. Yes, oneness. We are one. And when we realize we are one, there's nothing that can hold us back. I believe that and belief, remember, I explain this every time. Belief for me is experience. And I have experienced a lot of different things that didn't work. So my new belief is that if you keep doing the same thing, they say that's insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result, that's insanity. So what I see happening in our conscious community is that we took religion and we took Christianity and we took the churches and we took all these things and we threw them out the window. And we said, then we got together with a whole nother group of people that just almost feels like church, because we come together in a group, we come together in a gathering, we only listen to certain people, we kind of cliquish, like they are in the church. It's little cliques here, click there, but everybody want to run around saying they God and that they are there for you if you need them, that we support each other. But there is no one that really supports everyone. And there's no one person who that anybody should just be looking up to, that one person. Because then you have the preacher, who everybody expected to be just like God when we were all gods and we were all running around just the same way as the pastor was, but we lay judgment on them. Today I was passing by, there was this guy sitting on the curb. Now I remember, I'm about to throw you out there, T. Because when we first came into this, we had this thing about when we saw white people, we was like, y'all got white privilege. If you sit on the corner begging, you need to learn how to use your privilege, right? So today, because I'm growing further and further into an understanding of spirituality, because spirituality has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with Christianity. It has nothing to do with a practice of anything. It's nature and it's one. It's one. It's one with us. Spirituality is one with us. As I continue to grow in this area, I realize that we cannot look at someone and make a judgment based off of the past. Because if people really wanted to judge us, which they do, they judge us as black people, as African melanated people. They judge us and they base this on a basis of what they've been told about us, but they don't get the opportunity to even know anything about us. If they really knew the truth, like we know the truth of who we are, they wouldn't be treating us that way. But they treat us the way that our ancestors were treated, because our ancestors were living the true spirituality. They believed in sharing everything they had. If you didn't have, they gave. So when our other counterparts that we call the white man, right, which was born of an African woman, that counterpart, we now look at them and say, they get whatever they want. I ain't got to have nothing to do with them. I am through with them. I ain't dealing with that. But how can you truly look at a living thing, say you are God, and treat that person any different than you would want to be treated. I had a discussion earlier prior to this and so I might be answering some of y'all questions, but the discussion was, when we gonna get ours? When are we gonna get what it is that we should have? My answer to that, and it may not be the answer, but my answer to that is when we stop all this division and separation. The division and separation that we have amongst each other. And I mean, there's no such thing as a race. It was made up. There's no such thing as money. It was made up. There's no such thing. Understand, all these things are not real. So if you strip all the things that are not real, they're not real. They're just made up. They're just things that were put in place, and we were told that we needed to have this in order to do this and to do this and to do this. Most of us, if we took care of each other, it wouldn't be a problem. But we the first ones to put our kids out the house when they're 18. We're the first ones to say, when somebody say, oh, I ain't got nowhere to stay tonight, I ain't got nowhere to go, we the first ones that will, in turn, not open our door. Because we like, we ain't got no room in our house right now. You know what? They wouldn't care if they had to sleep on the floor, on the love seat. It doesn't matter. You know, as long as you offer them a place to stay, some food to eat. How many times you seen your reflection sitting on the corner asking for a quarter, asking for a dollar, asking for a dime, and you didn't give them nothing? And when you gave it to them, you were thinking, and in judgment, you had a judgment going on, don't lie. You were judging, because I was thinking this when I saw the white guy sitting on the corner on the little stoop, and he was holding a sign. The first thing I said was, and then I was like, no, you can't be like that. That man needs something. And I said, even if he do want to buy some drugs, the question you should be asking yourself at that point, since you think that's what he is, a drug addict or a drunkard or whatever, then why aren't you, in turn, trying to figure out how he even got to that point and how you can help him get out of the rut that he's in, the reason he's sitting on that. See, we don't even go that far because we want to say we some selfish people. People are selfish. They're all about self. Listen to this. The only time we want to do for somebody else is when it could benefit us. That's it. If it has no benefit, if nobody's going to be knocking down your door or bragging about what you did for somebody or whatever, or, you know, if you don't get the kind of thanks you think you should receive or the kind of praise you think you should receive, then you feel like, oh, it really didn't benefit me. It didn't benefit me. Queen says we were taught to be selfish people. And we were taught to want more than we need. That's called greed. And to have an abundance of something and someone else not have any, it's called gluttony. You are a gluttonous person. You're beyond greed. If you are a millionaire or a trillionaire or a billionaire or whatever those heirs is, if you're any of those things and your neighbor car broke down or whatever it is, or you know somebody that need a new car or whatever, if you got 20 cars, why do you have 20 cars and there's people that don't have any? Why do you have food for days and there's people that don't have any? Does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I think that we as a people should come together and work on one another, but work from a single state of mind. meaning that you need to worry about you. If you do your part, we'll all come together as one. That's it. We are one. So when you look in the mirror and you see that other person, when you look in the mirror and you see you, think of that person that you passed by on the side of the road. Instead of saying, "Oh, that could have been me," and then turn around and say, "Oh no, that couldn't have been me because I wouldn't even put myself in that situation." You don't know what kind of situation you'll be in. You don't even have a clue. You have no clue at all. You don't know where you may go and where your mind may take you or what may happen. You don't even know the reason, the situation that they're on the drugs to begin with, or that they drink the way they do to begin with. How about we go to the root of some of these problems instead of just looking at people and judging them for what we think they are, instead of having a conversation? How many of them have you ever even stopped to have a conversation with? How many people do you work with at your job that you automatically say, "Oh, they ain't no good. Oh, and they ain't no good either. And you know what? I don't even want to deal with them," because a lot of times when you don't want to deal with somebody, you really looking at your reflection because they remind you of something. You. So when you looking at somebody being nasty and you want to turn yourself around and act like you are holier than thou and that you are better than them, don't do it. Instead, take a different approach. Think about it differently. Ask yourself, how can I help this person be in a better place today? How can I be in a better place today to be able to help this person be in a better place today? Another thing that I read and I took out of the book that I'm reading, Tomorrow's God, it was when you service others, you demonstrate your mastery. Meaning, if you are able to assist that person, more than likely, you're a master at that particular thing. Whether it's helping them get help, that means you're a master of that particular thing. If that means that you have the ability to make that difference, period. Whether it be financially, whether you had 10 beds and they needed one, whatever that is. So we need to be of service to each and every person, human being, mankind. And remember, God is life. Life is God. We are gods. We are life. All living things. We're equal to nature. Get out in nature. Take a look at what's going on around you. Quit looking past nature to the heavens. If you are still looking at the heavens to see God when God is all around you. You don't have to look past the trees to see God. You can look right across the street or look in the mirror and see God. You don't have to look past the trees. And with that, I'm going to end where I started, which was, I forgot. See how I'm doing? Oh, the truth will follow you around and find you wherever you are. The truth will follow you around and find you wherever you are, especially if you're seeking it. If you didn't catch this whole video, go back and listen so you can understand that the story I told lines up with this statement. Not only does it line up with that statement, it also lines up with the scripture in the Bible, Matthew 7:7. Ask, and it will be given unto you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. Remember, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you still got your Bible, and you remember references that apply in your life today, take it and apply it where it goes. Because at the end of the day, they're just words that were written. And remember, majority of everything written in the Bible that has any truth to it mimics exactly all of the things that were from our ancestors. And yes, make it your own. this thing that everybody's walking around talking about, I'm conscious and I'm God and I'm all these things, I'm awake, you woke, I'm woke, you woke, I'm woke, I'm conscious, you conscious, all that, it's a personal journey. It's only about you. It's only about you. So I just want to say I love you all. I appreciate you. I thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you're sharing this. I'm going to be coming on daily with just, I'm trying to keep it down to 22 minutes. I know I went longer than 22 minutes again, but I'm going to learn to narrow this down because it's only supposed to be 22 minutes of truth. 22 minutes, but you know, you can't hold your tongue when you're on a roll, right?